on YouTube. So it's going live. It's going live. And we are live, guys. Welcome to the Poke Tea Time podcast, where we serve you up a... Wait, are we live yet? I think we're live. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Poke Tea Time podcast, where we serve you up a cup of hot takes on what's going on in the Pokemon community. We're essentially... We have a new co-host.
Hi. How did I get here?
I don't know. Guys, this is not Yizzy Help.
I know, this is so boring.
Oh my god.
Kidding.
Oh. So,
I'm so happy to be here.
So happy. I can hear this excitement right now. But guys, we are talking about a few things today. But first and foremost, I want to address a few things in regards to my mistakes. You know, a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, I talked about... Well, I didn't talk about it. I had a person make a remark on the podcast, and I took it very, very personally, and I decided to attack him. That's not how I should have handled things. I made a lot of bad takes. So in this extent, I talked about collections, collection size, follower count, length at which a person stays in the Pokemon community, stuff like that, all of which were bad takes. So I could have handled that in a lot better. I could have handled that better. I could have taken that into a more positive route by either A, not responding at all, or just taking that feedback, whether it felt personal or not. So I do own up to that, and that's pretty much it. I did leave an actual extensive IG story in regards to that. So if you want to see it, go ahead. That's pretty much what I have to say. But let's get down to business, because I know Don Diego here is strapped for time because she's heading out to the Nationals tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow morning. Hopefully I don't miss my flight this time. So
oh, that's right. You did miss your flight last time. You missed your flight last time.
I feel like there's two types of people. The people that show up like 3 hours early to the airport, and me, who, like, if I have to spend 10 minutes sitting there, it's, oh my God, I can't do it. Like, I like to walk right onto the plane, and, like, I learned my lesson. Yeah,
no, for me, I'm at every airport 2 hours beforehand. Like, literally Sunday night at Collecticon, I stayed up that entire night, Sunday night, and like at
the night we had the TikTok party.
Yeah, the night that we had the TikTok party. So it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still there with Nate. Nate is shout out to Nate. Nate is a night owl for sure. And I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta be at the airport at 7 a.m. So I need to literally like get up, go take a shower. So I took a shower, and immediately I go downstairs with my bags. Like, I still had to pack, so I packed up, go downstairs, and I'm just waiting for my Uber to come. Got to the airport like at 5 o'clock, and pretty much was at the airport at 7, and then my flight was at 9. And then got back to Virginia at noon. So, like, I'm one of those types of people that's there all the time. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to as far as the Nationals go?
I mean, it's definitely the biggest show that I think I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Like, in my life, I've never been to the Nationals, so I'm excited to be around more, like, a bigger community. So there's going to be a lot of sports people there to kind of, you know, outreach with them and network with some other people. And I'm just excited. I feel like there's everyone I talk to on Instagram is going to be there. So, you know, I'm like, I love to meet people in person and kind of make that bigger connection than just like talking on Instagram.
Right. And, you know, I watch a lot of videos from, I think it was, did they have the Nationals last year? I think they did. I think it was in March.
Dude, it was supposed to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey this year. Isn't that crazy?
Like, yeah, it was supposed to be in Atlantic.
Away from my house.
Yeah, I remember that because I know Gary Vaynerchuk talked about it. I know last go around, I think it was, I want to say Chicago last go around too. I think they go back and forth between Chicago and Jersey. I don't know. But I think this time compared to last time, I think there's going to be a little bit more Pokemon at this event versus last event. So are you just pretty much bringing everything, or are you just like a little bit of taste of everything? Or are you...
No. I am not bringing my case. I actually have this Amazon package right here that just came. I bought like a cute little mini case so I could bring what I need. I'm going to bring my Post Malone card because I think he's going to be there because he's performing at Lollapalooza. So like he loves cards, he loves Magic. I'm
You're gonna try and get it signed.
He's going to be there and he's going to sign my card. Yeah.
That's going to be so awesome.
Dude, if that happens, that's it. Like my life is made. All I need next would be Drake, and then that's it.
Oh, if you meet Post Malone, I'll be messaging you first. I'm gonna be so jealous. Like I'm gonna be like, what? Like I should have been like, I should have sent you like a Funko Pop or something to get signed. You know?
Yeah. Overnight it to my hotel. I got you.
Okay, bet. I got you. But guys, we're gonna get right into the meat of things. We're going to be talking about all these grading companies that are popping up. So just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown kind of grading companies, this conversation isn't going to be geared towards mostly PSA or Beck. It's actually going to be geared towards TGA and Ace as a company. Those are the ones that are fairly new, and I see a little bit more prominence with those two because they have big names behind them. Whereas like we can briefly touch on all the random companies that are popping up by individuals, whether it's Facebook Marketplace or Burbank City or anything of the sort. So I think just my quick take on a bunch of people making their own slabs and stuff like that, I think it's okay. But I think if you're grading for other people, I feel like there will be a conflict of interest the moment you try grading your own cards and you try selling it.
Yeah.
I want to know your opinion on this, but my buddy Alex Hodges, you know Alex, he basically made a story a few days ago, I think last week, talking about people who are grading cards with all these smaller companies that are actually losing money in the process. And I just want to know what your take is on that. Do you agree with that statement? Do you disagree? Do you see these people gaining more traction in the process? And if so, how would they need to do that?
I feel like maybe in 20 years or something, but like a test stage, right? Like I personally don't want to be the guinea pig for that right now. I don't know if anyone else does. Like, are you willing to sacrifice more for grading? Because I don't know, like I am willing to sacrifice more for grading, let's say like PSA or CGC, because I know that they're going to add reliable growth to my card. Not that these companies won't, but they're honestly not going to right now. And like I said, maybe in 20 years they will. But I personally don't want to be the guinea pig to test that.
Right. Especially with like a lot of these smaller people that just are starting to do grading companies, and I just don't know the criteria for how they grade their cards. And for the most part, it just seems as if they're using the same cases that PSA uses, and they're just throwing in their own different label on there. I don't know the process of them grading it. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it just feels like people are doing it for the value and because it's available, right? Like it takes like a year to get your card graded at PSA, or you have to pay hundreds of dollars to get it graded, and a lot of people aren't grading their
they don't want that.
Their lower end cards right now, which I mean, whatever. But I mean, grading cards is supposed to add value and, like verify authenticity. So I think like the lesson we learned over the last year is that you don't need to grade every card, and switching to a new company necessarily like won't add that credibility that like PSA or even CGC adds to the value of your collection. Right.
I know the last time you were on the podcast, you were all team PSA.
I'm still team PSA, 100%.
Okay.
Like I haven't went anywhere else. I don't even think I own a card that isn't PSA, and that's my opinion. I just think that it adds like the most value to my collection, and loyal PSA.
No joke, guys. She only owns PSA cards. Like when she brought that behemoth of a case at Collecticon, that's all I saw. Whereas like myself, I was PSA for like a good while, and then once I held on to my first BGS slab, I'm like, man, I like the weight to it. It feels a little bit luxurious to it. But all these grading companies, they all have their pros and cons. So moving on from that specific conversation, let's actually talk about TGA and Ace Grading Company. in my honest opinion, after watching Randolph's video, and I highly suggest for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, actually watch the live stream that's already recorded. Watch it. Actually watch him announcing the actual grading company. I think it's great for the UK, right? Look at it from this perspective for someone who's in the UK. If you're grading cards in the UK, you have to go through Lutkins, or you have to actually have a middleman here in the United States to get your cards graded, and there is not as much transparency. I'm not saying Lutkins isn't transparent, but like if you're going through a middleman, there's probably not as much transparency as you like, and the wait times are probably going to be a lot longer than normal. Whereas Ace is a company in the UK, and I think it's gonna be. I think Randolph is gonna do a fantastic job with it. I looked at the security features on it, and I think it's great. My only concerns with that, as well as TGA, so we'll get into TGA in a little bit, is their criteria in grading. How do they go about grading a specific card? What's the actual they both have their ways of having a black label, so to speak, but what's the actual criteria to be able to fit that and then get a black label type of card? So with I forgot the exact name for Ace, but I think it's like their Ace something label, their Ace label. I think that's what it's called. And they specifically make the label really, really cool looking, specific to the actual card itself, to where it looks really nice. Both grading companies, I will say, the labels look really nice. I will say that. But that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Now, on the TGA, I watched the video that A Drive did, and I don't think he really went into as much detail that would make me feel safe or feel more reluctant to actually send my card. Not even reluctant, more susceptible to actually sending my cards to TGA. I looked at the website. You guys can take a look at their website. It's called thegradingauthority.com. And when you look at the grading requirements, there's not much to it. And that could be because of the fact that there's something still there. They're still in the works for it. And me personally, I can't get behind that. I would get probably more behind Ace versus TGA. And that's not an attack on any companies. I think it's still too early to pretty much really see. I would love to see more. Ace doesn't have a website up yet. And once I see that website, it'll be really, really nice to pretty much, look at it, have a few people grade their cards there and see what their grading process is. I want to see how they cross over. So I think, typically speaking, when it comes to reliability or the toughness of grading, we always talk about how well it'll cross over to something else. And, either it's the PSA or Beckett's, one of the other. It's one of the two. The same, it happened with CGC when people sent over cards, they got a perfect 10, and more of those cards became black labels. Same thing happens all the way around. So I think that's how it'll happen. I don't think Ace doesn't feel like it's a cash grab. TGA kind of right now feels like a cash grab. Not saying it is, but what are your thoughts on all the stuff that I provided? Because you're still looking at all this stuff. It's still real too early to really say. But I know people are talking about it right now because of the fact that it's relevant. It's so relevant.
Yeah, totally. I did not see the videos that you're referring to. I should, so I could speak more, whatever, intelligently about it. But to me, again, I just feel like there's no need to complicate collecting by taking a risk with the newer grading companies. Doesn't mean I'm bashing them. I don't support them. I would love to see them. I would literally love to see them blow up, and for everyone to have another option to grade their cards at. But
yeah, competition's great.
We were talking before, I think was it the Ace one that you said they don't what is their criteria, right? They don't do half grades, they just do whole grades.
Yeah, they do whole grades.
I think there's a lot more research to be done with them. I'd like to see people actually use them, get them back, and see their thoughts on it and how it adds value or doesn't add value to their collection, and then kind of go from there. But I think right now, for me, I think it would just complicate collecting for me personally. Right.
And I think that's what it's going to be for a lot of people out there when they grade with TGA or Ace. I don't know. From a security aspect, I feel like Ace is more secure than TGA as of right now. I don't know what the process is on what the security aspect is, because I'm on their website right now, and I don't really see too much about the security aspect of their cards, right? Like, sure, they probably have a way to catalog their cards, and that's not my concern. My concern is what's preventing someone to actually open up the slab and then inserting a lesser quality card, right? Because we see it happen with PSA, we see it happen with Beckett. There's ways to tell whether a card is fake or not, or if the actual.
I was just watching like a video on that, or not a video, like an article. It was like how to tell if the slab was cracked, and like it's like it will have like clouding on the edges and stuff.
Frosting.
I never, frosting, which I never really knew. So that was interesting to learn about.
Yeah, so like for those of you guys who are in here, just a quick how-to or things that to pay attention to. With Beckett slabs, let me see if I can find a Beckett slab actually. With Beckett slabs, the way to tell, one of the biggest giveaways is, like, typically speaking, if it's I highly recommend following card porn on Instagram. On Instagram, because they'll literally tell you all the details in regard, like the breakdown of what is and what isn't legitimate as far as Beckett slabs go. But like the actual Beckett slab will have perforations on the actual label itself, whereas a fake label won't have that, and then the font will be very, very off as far as that goes. And then they have different ways, like the barcode and I think that's a patent code right there, just to basically tell you whether or not it's legitimate or not on the actual slab. And with PSA, for those of you guys who are very familiar with PSA, I feel like you guys know what to look for. Biggest giveaway for PSA slabs is frosting. It's clear on a PSA slab, whereas like the moment you see frosting on the sides, and that's pretty much it. Hey, what's going on, Pokemon Radar? But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as telling what is and what isn't fake, or what's been resealed or recased as far as slabs go. And I highly recommend all of you guys do your research before buying a slab. Look at people's what's it called? Sales performance as far as that goes, like on eBay. Look at what their seller rating is and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm really interested. Oh, go ahead.
No, just like the bottom line is that I feel like the competition is great for the community, but I mean, we'll see. Like, time will tell.
Yeah, 100%. I think what's gonna happen is, once we know how they're grading their cards, I think that's where people will pick and choose. Like, I know there's a company out there right now, and I know you and I saw it at Collecticon, which is AGS, which is the AI grading company. And I know that we had our mutual friend 100 Charizards. He got one of his Charizard cards. I don't even think I think it was a first edition. First edition. What's it called? Neo Genesis Lugia that he got looked at by the AI, and it gave him like a crazy good number. Shiv got a little echo going on.
I think he put like a YouTube up on that too.
There is a echo. Is it me or is it or is it Laura? Feedback audio loop. Let's see. Let me look at OBS. Hello. Things are. Say something, Laura.
Hi.
Okay. Is it coming from my mic?
Let me turn that down. Okay, that should be better. I think it's coming in from my audio input capture. So let me see that. Let's see. Properties. Okay, that should be better. I think that should be better. I think there was two audio captures going on. Your webcam might be taking in the audio as well. Yeah, I just muted that, so I think that's what it is. I appreciate that, guys. Who would win in a third round Pokemon Snap battle? Team Radar or Team Shiv? That I don't know. I mean, I do have a Pokemon Snap machine. Does that count?
Yeah, you do.
No, but
you're probably good at it.
No, I'm not. I just, yeah, no. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that better, guys? Because I think that's what it was. I think I had to turn off the audio for my actual camera. Okay, better. Laura's good. Okay, cool. Laura's good. It's Laura. Yeah, Laura's good, but I'm not. So I need to straighten things out. Sorry, guys. For those guys who do not know, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up for Yizzy. The poor guy just got his wisdom teeth taken out, so he pretty much is out of commission right now. Let me increase my volume. Let's see. I appreciate the help, guys. That should be a bit better, I think. But yeah, I think everyone make sure you drop a thumbs up. This is my first time streaming with the OBS, and I literally had to do everything
you're doing
last
great.
night and today. So I don't know how to do any
And
of
you
this.
had to
Yizzy's-
watch me my lighting for like half an hour.
Yeah. It was worth.
You were just like, everything looks good. I was like, what about this? What about this? What about this?
Hey.
So you're like,
Hey, I mean, you're doing a good job. No, but yeah, I think for the most part, we can all pretty much agree that when it comes to all these grading companies, some do feel like a cash grab. But I think it's important for all of us to use our best judgment. I know that all of us have our preferences when it comes to grading companies, and I know some people are Team PSA. I know some people are Team Beckett, and some people are Team CGC, and everyone likes to crap on each other when it comes to our grading preferences. But I think at the end of the day, it's super important for all of us. And I think, when it comes to any of these conventions that are coming up, whether it's the next Collecticon or the Florida Con or any other convention there is, I think it's super duper important for all of us to pay attention to the actual condition of the card versus the actual grade or the actual label. Yeah, sure, aesthetics do matter, and I think some people are getting too caught up in the actual aesthetics of the card versus the actual grade that's being applied to the card and the actual condition of the card. There needs to be a certain level of consistency there, and I just want to know what your thoughts are. Why are you so adamant on being Team PSA?
I told you, I'll say it again. I just feel like if you're trying to add the most value to your collection, at least in my opinion, like that's where I'm gonna go. I don't know if the card grader adds no value, you got to think, what's the point? Like, again, no offense to these smaller companies, in 20 years they might pop off, but like I said, I don't want to be like the test dummy for that. I know what works. I know like what adds value to my collection, and I'm willing to wait, and I'm willing to pay more for something that I know works.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For the most part, being a PSA middleman,
PSA probably should sponsor me, by the way, because I have had their back like since day one, like shutting down everyone else. So
hey, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think for us, like I think here on the Poke Tea Time podcast, Yizzy and I used to get a lot of flack for talking down about CGC. But like we've made it well known to everyone that we're more than happy to talk about the pros and cons about each grading company. I think that's super duper important.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, if we don't talk about the pros and cons and how does a company really improve, and that's really the way that I look at things. I think that PSA is doing a fantastic job as of right now. Like I talk to their I talk to their customer service all the time, and they do an amazing job right now. Like we all have to understand that they got slammed in the past year and a half. They just got 100% slammed, and for anyone to basically get upset about getting their cards a year later, that's just ridiculous. Consider the amount of value these cards went up, or even let's say you were getting your cards graded at a reasonable time, the amount of sheer value that you get out of a card even after getting it graded and then selling it is crazy. You don't see that.
That's what I'm talking about.
You just don't see that in any sort of market out there. Like you don't see that in the stock market. The amount of return that you're getting on a slab just for waiting a year is insane.
Yeah, I just think if it's worth it is worth waiting for.
Yeah. And I mean CGC is great too. I do like the consistency of it. I just don't like their labels. I just don't like their labels whatsoever.
Yeah.
Beckett, I like Beckett, but there is still a level of inconsistency. At Collecticon, I legitimately saw a first edition Neo Genesis Lugia with a 9.5, and literally half the foil was covered in scratches. And I found out that it used to be a PSA 7. I'm like, okay, that grade makes sense.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's going on in your life? You got anything going on besides nationals? Are you looking for anything particular at nationals?
Just rare, unique stuff. I have Mr. Phil Hughes bringing me a couple of cards that I have been looking out for. Remember that TikTok I made about like the one that got away?
Yeah. I legitimately
He's bringing those cards for me.
So funny thing is that when I did your duet on that video, the one thing that got away was the Master Trainer box with the factory seal. It's factory seal and it has 4 booster packs of base set in it. And I literally messaged Radar like a couple of weeks ago asking what the price was on it, and he said $7,000. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on that.
Yeah, that hurts. Like
that's the one
everyone
that got
has
away.
like the one that got away. Like everyone has that, I feel like, and
Yeah.
it's still not what I want it to be price wise. I should have bought it a long time ago, but I mean, we'll see. I can't wait to see them in person.
So like, I want to hear your opinion. I think a lot of people in here want to hear certain things, but do you think PSA prices would go like let's say demand for PSA kind of goes back to where it was 2019 and that sort of era? Do you think that we're going to see prices where they were, especially if demand kind of goes away?
At first, like if you asked me a few months ago, I would have said yeah. Like I was really optimistic about that happening, and now like no shot.
You don't think that's going to happen at all?
They were supposed to get lower pricing back in what was it, June, July or something, and it just we still didn't see like that same pricing, and I just like can't see it getting back to normal anytime soon.
Okay, that makes sense. I
mean, like the people that have started, a lot of people are going to fizzle out, obviously, like when the hype is gone, those people are going to leave, but I think more people have joined the hobby now more than ever, and they're going to stay, and that PSA is going to keep popping off.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, for me, like just like this current market right now in terms of prices, everything ebbs and flows, and we've all experienced it. And I don't know, like for me, like when it comes to Pokemon, I can understand the prices going down because Pokemon is like makes up such a small amount of cards that PSA grades as a whole, because PSA is grading more sports cards than anything. And I think sports cards are always going to be relevant in that regard. Like there's always going to be new rookies. There's always going to be someone new that's hot. Excuse me. Soccer is always going to be growing and growing and growing. A lot of these sports that are now starting to have more cards come out for them, I think that's going to start gaining more traction in the process as well. And I don't know, it could just stay the same as far as that goes. What I really like to see PSA do, you know, I was telling Yizzy, I was telling Yizzy this time, sometime last year in 2020, that they do need to shut down all services, and they did it in March, which I'm glad they did. But one thing I would genuinely like to see them do is, for members in general, they need to cut off all services to people who aren't members, first and foremost, and then 2, they need to cap out how many cards a member can send off to PSA based upon their ability to grade cards on a daily basis. So like if they're able to grade this amount, then you're allowed to send X amount of cards. That way they don't run into the same problem, and they can slowly roll out other services and then finally clear out their backlog, and then essentially open everything back up to everyone. I think that's what needs to happen.
I think it's easier said than done, right? Like if me and you are running a business, like sure, that's
100%.
like the logical thing. But when you're making that much money and you're getting that much exposure and all that, it's hard to make that decision, like when to shut down, if to shut down at all, and like what like rules to put in place like for each member. Like you have people that have been members for like 20 years. Like how do you differentiate them and like treat them? Do you treat them differently than like people signed up? I mean, I know they did, at least I thought they did shut down new memberships. So that's why people have started using like middlemans and stuff. But
yeah. So what they did was they shut down new memberships entirely, but people were still able to buy. So like the only things that they shut down were, I think, all the other services like the gold and the platinum, and then they shut off the ability for normal people to really send in their cards for PSA. But I think the only thing that people, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the only thing that was available was the silver memberships, and people were still buying into that.
Yeah, no matter what, people are going to find a way to get in. Like it actually doesn't stop the influx of cards at all, right? Like you're a middleman, you send cards in for people that don't have memberships. Like, does it really work? Then you have to think, like, does it really work?
Yeah. I mean that makes sense. Do you ever send in raw cards your own to PSA, or do you just buy them graded as is?
Right now I've been buying just graded because I am a person that likes immediate gratification. Like I don't like waiting for things. So like if I want the card, I'm gonna just buy it in a 10.
Yeah.
But before all this, yeah, I was buying like raw cards, sending them in. I sent a bunch of cards in October, and I saw that I'm definitely going to get them back, and I still don't have them back. So now I'm just buying solely graded 10s. That's it.
No, that makes sense. I mean, for me specifically, I knew that the moment vintage cards started spiking, I started sending my cards in either regular or express from the jump. And then the moment I saw economy go away, I was sending in stuff for myself or other clients and telling them in like, hey, you probably need to send this by express because it's gonna get bad. And it did get bad. And so like when it got really, really bad last fall, I was just buying my slabs. Like I was like, you know what? I'm not unless it's like a very, very unique card that PSA doesn't grade, and I know Beckett grades specifically, then I'll buy those. But if it's, you know, if it's a normal Pokemon based slab, then I'll buy that as is, because it's like it's there, it's worth the time, and in a market where even right now things are going super duper fast. Like things are rapidly changing on a weekly basis. You know, we have heritage auctions that just ended. We have PWCC auctions that happen almost super frequently that pretty much changes the market every single time. And to be able to have a graded slab from the jump allows you to put yourself into a position where you can either leverage that in terms of a trade or a sale. Like things happen so fast.
Absolutely.
And for people who are just solely waiting, and I know a lot of people, and I know this was the case for a lot of my clients and friends that went through me via middleman services. A lot of the people that solely graded cards and didn't buy slabs in this entire time where the market went up and then down, they couldn't really participate in this market. And that's you have to weigh that sort of cost right there.
Totally. It's like time is money, right? You have plenty of time if you send your cards to PSA for them to devalue themselves. And I mean, it's something to think about. So are you willing to pay a couple more, whatever it is, $100 just to buy the 10 already slabbed? I think yes.
Right. What sort of cards are you chasing right now?
I've pretty much capped out at Collecticon, but my heart is still set on a bunch of different cards. I'm trying to build my Persian collection, so I want every Persian, every variety. I feel like that's kind of attainable right now. I really want the Mario set, which I might be getting that at Nationals. We'll see. I want to get more into sports, so like I said, I'm very excited to go to Nationals to be around more people that like do sports and not just Pokemon, because Collecticon was just Pokemon. So like there's cards I really like in sports, but I don't know what they are. Like they have really sick backgrounds, and I'm just interested in learning more about it. And who knows, maybe that'll be another layer of my collecting.
Right. Like so I know a lot of people are in here only solely collect. Some people in here, I wouldn't say everyone, because I know like Jeff the Ref collects, Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And I know some people in here also collect Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh, but like those are mostly all TCGs. What's something that you see from the sports side that you bring in whenever you're looking at Pokemon cards? Because like I know for myself, I always believe that it's important to kind of step out of like the Pokemon bubble, or like this sort of CCG / TCG side of the hobby, and take different aspects and different viewpoints from the sports side and try to make that applicable to this. Like what do you see?
I mean, I think that's really important for collectors to do, to kind of like branch out and see what else is out. It's so different. Honestly, I don't think that there's a correlation between sports and Pokemon. I hate to say it. Like it's such a different skill set. I collect soccer, which I know a lot about, but like when it comes, like I know the basketball players I like, but when it comes to maybe it's like the same sentiment, right? Like if they're doing well, their card's going to do well, or if they have a rookie card, it's going to be worth more. But I mean, I don't think I know enough about it to compare it, and I really do think it's like a completely different collecting skill set. But I mean, I'm a pretty big cross collector. Like I collect all types of cards. I'm not just into Pokemon, so
you collect a bunch of different stuff like Fortnite, artists.
Yo, when are we dropping, boys?
Whenever you want. I've been waiting. You guys.
I've been busy.
She's been busy, quote unquote.
I've been
busy.
so busy.
No,
But
no,
I'm
I
up till
know.
like 5 a.m. every day. Like,
No, yeah, you don't get any sleep. But everyone say hello to Yizzy in the chat. He's literally I called him like an hour before the podcast, and oh, is my mic off?
oh, feel better, Izzy. No, I mean I hear you.
Hello, 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 hello.
I didn't
No,
even look at the YouTube chat until right now.
my mic is registering. Say something, Laura.
Me? Hi.
Okay, no, I think you're off. Say something again.
Me?
Okay, no,
Hi.
never mind, never mind. You're good, you're good. I don't think my mic's not off. It could be just a lag or something on YouTube's end. Who knows? But yeah, everyone say hello to Yizzy. He pretty much looks like a chipmunk from what I'm assuming. He got his wisdom teeth taken out yesterday. So
Poor Izzy.
get better, Yizzy. And for those guys who are in here, we got 26 people in here. Make sure you like, make sure you dislike. It doesn't matter. Just show some support to the channel. If not, it's cool. We're just glad that you're in here. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about what should we talk about? I'm blanking. Laura's in charge of our next topic before
Oh
she
no.
leaves. Putting you on the spot.
What's your favorite thing to collect other than Pokemon?
Oh, Digimon. So I know a lot of
I knew
people,
that.
I know a
I don't
lot.
know anything about Digimon. Like, if you could tell someone that knows nothing about it, what like would you tell me?
I think that if you were to go back into the 90s and you were in your playground or you were in kindergarten or whatever grade you were in, people were always comparing Pokemon to Digimon and Digimon to Pokemon. So I think the anime itself is culturally relevant in that regard. I think part of Pokemon's success is Digimon not performing really well here in the United States, even though Digimon's been performing absolutely fantastic in Japan. I think the anime itself has done such a good job, and I know Pokemon, when they did evolutions in the X and Y era, they took a lot of inspiration from Digimon in that regard, and they're vastly different. I know some people like to call, Digimon the Walmart or the generic version of Pokemon, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to preference. Pokemon did really, really poor as far as toys went back from 1999 all the way up to 2006 or 7. But Digimon crushed it here in the United States. Bandai and whoever produced, probably Bandai who probably produced it, but when it comes to their toys, the molding was superior. Like, the toys themselves hold and actually accrue tremendous amounts of value since the years have come by. It's just a bunch of different stuff. So like,
Cool.
it's good for collectors. So like, for everyone's in here, myself, Yizzy, we both collect Digimon. I think and then you collecting Fortnite. I think for the most part, I think it's important to sort of diversify your collecting so that way you're not stuck in this, and this is like from an investment, so to speak, scenario, not like, well, it could be a collecting aspect, like collect anything that you absolutely enjoy. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pokemon itself, but like for collectors like myself, if Pokemon has become super duper expensive, then I can easily switch gears and say, hey, I want to buy Harry Potter TCG or Digimon, or take a dip and dive in sports. I can go to you because you know more about sports than I do, and then
that's why. Like, I get kind of like surprised that more Pokemon people aren't going to the national, because it's gonna, like, there is gonna be so much Pokemon there. I feel like they don't realize, like, they're almost like scared of going. I'm like, there's gonna be so much Pokemon there, and if not, like, you can learn so much about something else. And like, I think diversity collection is super important.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that was like when I was looking at the nationals, because I was listening before I came into this community. I kind of lurked for a while, whether it's sports cards or Pokemon cards, and I kind of I used to listen to Gary V talking about the nationals all the time. Nationals. I know you've been up for hours trying to figure that out, but
the nationals.
I'll just keep.
That's what
I'm
doing. I don't know. Yeah, just
No, but when I listen to it, I'm like thinking, like, how cool would it be for Pokemon to have its own actual space and kind of hold its front or foot when it comes to sports cards. I mean, obviously sports cards are tremendously and vastly more valuable in comparison than Pokemon cards, but and that's what a lot of people don't really see or understand too.
Totally.
But
Well, you know, Collecticon was actually called Pokecon.
it was.
Pokecon before they changed it to Collecticon.
It
They
was.
should have just kept it. Like, we should
I
have
think it
our
was a
own.
legality thing.
Yeah.
I think legally speaking, they couldn't call it PokeCon.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been great if they called it PokeCon, but I don't think that was the case. I know, like, based off of like what they plan on doing next year, they want to have different kind of things, and that's sort of the direction they want to go. They want to make their sort of event just collecting centric, where collectors can come through and bring everything. So kind of like the National.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, for like the longest time, the National's obviously been about sports cards, but Pokemon cards are suddenly a part of the conversation now because it's old enough to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, how long have we been streaming? It doesn't. Does this say how long we've been streaming? OBS. Okay, we've been here for 45 minutes. I think it's time for Don Diego to go. I know she's very, very busy for the evening. So before we go, Laura, what kind of sleeper of the week would you have? So typically speaking, we like to give our guests a sleeper of the week, and it could be anything. It could be a mentality thing. It could be a certain card. It could be literally anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pokemon.
Dude, there is a promo, but I don't know the name of it. Hold on. I was planning on doing a TikTok of it, but it just sold. You know what the sleeper of the week is?
My sleeper
the Blastoise test card thing. That is the sleeper of the week. That's the card I want. That's my next goal card.
Okay,
that card's insane.
Let me make this a little bit more challenging to you. So, sleeper of the week that is affordable to the general public.
Oh. Okay, you go first. Let me think.
I last time I had Yizzy do it, I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's see.
Wait, I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
How about the alternative arts from like Battle Styles, like the raw card? Like anyone could get that.
Okay. So what?
Like I've been looking up a lot of. I've just been looking up a lot of like the alts, and they're like even like the EV Heroes ones, obviously, which are insane. Like they're just more rare, obviously, and I think that the art's cooler and people can get them. Like they are available, and once they get start getting graded, I think they might even be like more wanted than they are now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think for me, this is not really a sleeper, and I talked about it last week, but that Noivern alternate art that's coming out here soon, it just looks so badass. Like it gives me so much Gotham vibes. It's not even funny. It's so dark and so edgy. At first when I saw it, I
love
thought
that.
So we did talk about AGS grading IN12 and what is this? That's a funny name, but we talked about AGS. Just to go back on it before I get back on my sleeper of the week. Essentially, I felt like the AI itself, we might have touched on it. I think we really finished the conversation in that regard. But AGS itself, I feel like the AI still needs a little bit more learning. I think it's kind of lenient at the matter because I saw 100 Charizards give a first edition Neo Genesis Lugia that had a crease on it, and it gave it a 7 point something. I'm like, that's not right. So I think AIs typically learn, and I think they're kind of priming the actual software or whatever they're using to basically get more and more consistent in terms of grading. Like the actual condition of the card does need to match the actual grade. And I spoke to AGS, and I talked about a collab, but they just want me to kind of like interview them, and I'm not trying to interview them, so to speak. I just want to understand how their thing goes. Ace Grading, for those guys who do not know, again, for those of you guys who are joining in here real fast, is a company that Randolph, one of the guys that's good friends with KSI, PokeRand, has started. Definitely look it up on YouTube, watch it, give it a look, or you can just rewatch this podcast and get the rundown on that. But I think my sleeper of the week, I don't know, that's tough. Like I know I already said Japanese exclusive Pokemon cards because you came on here on the podcast and talked a little bit about that, so I used that already. I'll say my sleeper of the week will still be Meiji cards. I think Meiji cards are in a great, like with the entire market down, I think this is a good time to actually pick up a lot of Meiji cards because the prices have gone
Yeah.
down. I don't think
Mhm.
any card has maintained its value in the past 8 months. There's very few cards that have shot up in value. Like first appearance cards shot up in value in the past 8 months. Trophy cards have gone up significantly in value. I can't think of anything else. Trophy
Solid. No,
cards.
that's a solid.
Well,
solid
PSA
pick.
10s of certain cards, but that's pretty much it. That's really it. So I think Meiji cards are a good choice. Cardist cards from 1996 to 1997 is still a good viable choice to buy. Low pop cards that are very, very difficult to grade or very, very scarce to acquire is something that I think everyone should really pay attention to. And that's if you genuinely love it. You know, this is not, again, this channel's not an investment channel. It's just us giving our hot takes on stuff. And that's really it. But that pretty much concludes this live. For those guys who are in here still, go ahead and smash that like button with a hammer. Everyone say thanks for Laura, aka DonDiegoTrading, for joining the podcast. Make sure you follow her on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the socials. Make sure you tune into her stories while she's at the Nationals. She could be I bet you she's gonna go live too at Nationals.
I bet you I am.
So make sure you bring your PS4, by the way, so we can play some Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my broken ass PS4 to the hotel.
No, that thing.
If anyone has a PS5, let me know.
Yeah,
dude,
if anyone has a plug,
it
let her
sounds
know.
like I need a PS5 plug.
Yeah, I have my PS4 and I'm thinking about just selling it, but because I'm on PC now. But thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. You already know how we sign off because we've done it 2 times already.
Oh, no. Oh yeah.
But just to remind you, the way we sign off is that we sips up, we deuces, and then we say we're out. I hit my mic.
Okay.
So
do we talk it? Do we say it?
Yeah, we say it. So sips up.
Okay.
Deuces.
Sips up.
And we're out.